Dear Dhamma friends, we have come to the today's Dhamma sermon. So may you give your consent by saying sadhu sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Anapanasati bhikkave bhavita bahuli kata chattaro satipatthane paripureti. Chattaro satipatthana bhavita bahuli kata satta bojjhanga paripurenti. Satta bojjhanga bhavita bahuli kata vijja vimutting paripurenti ti. Dear Dhamma friends, as you all might can remember that we have taken a new topic for this series, for this Kalalgoda meditation retreat, and that is one of the suttas available in Majjhima Nikaya, and which is extremely important for our practice because most of us are familiar with Anapanasati. At least we might have tried that, or we might be practicing rising and falling, which is fairly similar to Anapanasati. So therefore this particular sutta is called Anapanasati Sutta, which is comprehensively dealing with Anapanasati, related to the meditation, related to the in-breath and out-breath. So as we discussed yesterday, Buddha was dwelling in Migaramatu or what you call Pubbarama, which was built by Visakha, and that too is available in Shravasti. And Buddha at that time was dwelling there with many great arahants like Venerable Sariputta, Moggallana, Maha Kassapa, and Maha Kappina, Maha Kottita, Maha Chunda. Likewise, the very great arahants were there. And at that time, there were many novice monks, and they were being trained by these great elders and all great arahants. And some arahants, some great elders have taken 10 novice monks, some have taken 20 novice monks, some have taken 30 novice monks, some have taken 40 novice monks, and they are instructing them and asking them various sort of training, and listening to these instructions. These novice monks, the new monks, are practicing and improving their skills and thriving in Dhamma. So after seeing this occasion, Buddha has decided, after the completion of the Vassa, that he would like to stay another 1 month at the same place. As you all know, typically Buddha and the Sangha stay during the Vassa in a particular place, and there was a custom that at the end of the Vassa that they start traveling, spreading the Dhamma and teaching Dhamma. The monks and the Buddha were traveling. As you all can understand, unlike today, they didn't have any kind of sophisticated communication facilities. So by word of mouth, Buddha's teaching has spreaded, and again Buddha himself and the Sangha were distributed, and they were traveling and passing the message. So that was the custom. And but anyway, at this given occasion, at the end of the Vassa, when the monks were gathered, after seeing the assembly of monks, Buddha understood now these new monks are thriving, they are practicing hard. And if we move further or if we start traveling, then it could be a little hindrance to the development of the mental training or the development of the higher attainments. So Buddha decided to stay longer in the same place. And so they spent another 1 month at the same place. And then again, after looking about the assembly of the monks, and Buddha was very pleased. And he understood that there are certain monks practicing for Satipatthana, some are practicing, say, Metta, some are practicing Asubha, the repulsive meditation, some are practicing the Mudita, the altruistic joy, some are practicing Karuna, the compassion, some are practicing Upekha. So basically the 4 Brahma Vihara meditations. So likewise there were many meditation techniques. So different monks are practicing different techniques. So then Buddha want to help them further, and he is thinking of giving one solution which is suitable for many. So he has selected Anapanasati, meditation related to the in-breath and out-breath. So there he encourages monks, telling Anapanasati bhikkhave bhavita bahulikata chattaro satipatthane paripureti. So that's a very important statement Buddha is making, where he is telling that if you develop this once Anapanasati, you can develop 4 foundations of mindfulness. And then he says, chattaro satipatthana bhavita bahulikata satta bojjanga paripurenti. So if you develop 4 foundations of mindfulness, then you can develop 7 enlightenment factors. Then he continues to tell, satta bojjanga pavita bahulikata vijja vimuttim paripurenti. If one develops 7 enlightenment factors, then one can develop 2 vijja and vimutti. That is the knowledge and the deliverance. So this is the kind of the statement as a summary Buddha is explaining. And now he is going to explain how one can develop in this method. It's extremely important to understand that this single Anapanasati can touch both or all the Satipatthana. Typically, Anapanasati is one of the Kayanupassana section meditation technique, which is explained in Satipatthana Sutta, and even in Kayagata Sati Sutta, where it is mentioned typically in the Kayanupassana section, only related to the body. But now Buddha is telling that it is not only limited to that. Rather, you can, if you practice as the explanation, as the information given by the Buddha in the 16 steps, then he is promising that you can not only practice Kayanupassana, but rather you can practice even Vedananupassana, you can practice Chittanupassana, you can practice Dhammanupassana. You can go beyond that either. So this is a one important point to understand. Therefore, Anapanasati can be one of the meditation techniques which one can use forever. For a long period of time, one can associate Anapanasati. As we discussed even during the discussion, Dhamma discussion, another advantage of Anapanasati is it's giving the facility to enter into deep concentrations, jhana, which is not available in certain other techniques, vipassana techniques. And that is another advantage Anapanasati has. But as we discuss, certain yogis might find Anapanasati has some drawbacks because it is related to the head, and the certain concentrations or the effortful concentrating might leads to certain complications. So one has to balance these faculties, one has to do proper adjustments on the way. Otherwise, one can lead to certain little complexities or little painful situations. But still one can adjust those things after discussing with someone who has overcome such situation. So anyway, Anapanasati is one of the great meditation technique. So yesterday we discussed the 4 steps which Buddha was telling that related to the body, and there Buddha is telling one uses Anapanasati to develop mindfulness, particularly related to the body. So he begins telling that one has to go to a proper place. Ideal place is the forest, if not maybe a tree root, or else an empty place. So one suppose finding such place, and then he is going to such place, and then Buddha is encouraging to sit cross-legged and with erect body, ujung kayang panidahaya. And then one has to establish mindfulness in the front. Typically in the front means that at your nostril, parimukhang sating upattapetva, where you establish your mindfulness at the nostril, closer to the nostril. It is not exactly, we need to find the exact pinpoint. Rather, if it is the area, nostril area, closer to the nostril, that is more than enough. Because at the beginning you won't get the extreme precision, because yet the mindfulness has not yet developed. and the concentration is not developed and the mind is distracting, and again it is under the power of defilements, the hindrances. So you won't be able to get fair amount of precision there. But as you develop mindfulness and concentration, you would be able to understand where the exact location. So till that you don't need to worry much about thinking that I couldn't find the exact place. So therefore Buddha starts Anapanasati meditation in a very simple way. He simply says, Sato asasati, sato passasati. Simply one mindfully breathes in and then mindfully breathing out. There is no any kind of specific or sophisticated information mentioned there. Rather one simply establish mindfulness. Because typically we dwell either in the past or in the future, not in the present moment. So we are now using Anapanasati or in-breath and out-breath as a technique to dwell in the present moment. So dwelling in the present moment is one of the important factor, important prerequisite that one has to fulfill in order to go for further development. So establishing mindfulness is extremely important before you go for further development. So establishing mindfulness is what Buddha mentioned here, Sato asasati, sato passasati, where you mindfully breathing in and mindfully breathing out. Because body is always living in the present moment. Unlike our mind also actually operating in the present moment, but it can carry a past event or it can project to a future moment. So therefore we are dwelling either in the past or in the future. But fortunately our body is always in the present moment. It can't live in the past or in the future. It always resides in the present moment. It's constantly actually operating in the present moment, but we never live with the body. That's the beauty. The mind actually resides in the body, but we never use body to anchor the mind as a present object. So we typically thinking and we dwell in our own dream world, fantasy world, and we never live with the body. Now Buddha is asking us to go back home. So this is the home for us. So we all have left our homes, so why not go back home? So Buddha is asking us to go back home and just dwell there very comfortably. So therefore he is asking Sato asasati, sato passasati. So mindfully you breathing in, mindfully you breathing out. So body, as we discussed, the root of bodily function is this anapanas, this in-breath and out-breath. So we are going back to our basics. But unfortunately, as we grow up, it's very difficult to go back to basics. So we complicate our minds and we fill with a lot of garbage, and so therefore it's very difficult to go back to our very beautiful childhood. Sometimes therefore for children going back to basics may be easier than for adults. But anyway, if we understand what Buddha is telling, still we have the capacity to go back to these basics, coming back to our home. So as hindrance power is there, so we may go back to past or go to the future, but nothing to worry. Body is breathing for us. Again and again we can return to this breathing. It never stops till we die. So nothing to worry. It is always available. So you can therefore faithfully go back to breathing. It's always there, waiting for you to come back, inviting you to come back. So whenever you go out, he's there waiting for you. So you can always come back and rest with it. It is the safe home for you. So therefore Buddha is encouraging to be with the breath, which is fairly pure, and it does not encourage any kind of defilements. And therefore as the next step, he is asking us to see certain characteristics in in-breath and out-breath that actually helps to further refine mindfulness. Because establishing mindfulness is one aspect, and once mindfulness is established, you need to further improve it by seeing subtle details. And this helps to go into the comprehensive detail and what we call as sampajanya, we are clear comprehension. That you are clearly seeing subtle details available in a very limited area. Breath is not a huge phenomena, it's a very subtle phenomena, but still this refined mindfulness, developed concentration is capable of seeing very subtle details, subtle differences available there. Definitely one can find that the in-breath is different from the out-breath. But going beyond that, one can understand even the two consecutive in-breaths are not exactly equal. They have some minor differences. Certain in-breath is longer than the other in-breath. Certain in-breaths are shorter than the other in-breath. So Buddha is asking us to see whether we can understand that, we can see that. So that is the first step and the second step. And then Buddha taking us to the third step, telling this breath is not that immediately popping up, rather it is a natural or gradual process. It's like a bell curve where you are having a very smooth rising up, smooth increment, and then slowly it is increasing, and then you are coming to the peak, and then you are slowing down or in the passing side, losing side, and then it is fading away and completely disappear. Same pattern is available in the falling cycle or in the exhale cycle, and here also you can see how it is beginning, how the intensity increases, reaching the peak or the threshold, and then it is reducing, and then it is slowly reducing and ultimately fading away and disappearing. So Buddha is encouraging us to see this complete cycle of in-breath and out-breath. Sabbakaya patisangvedi, assa sissamiti sikkati. Sabbakaya patisangvedi, passa sissamiti sikkati. As a result, you would be able to see even there's a slight gap remains in between in-breath and out-breath, and again out-breath and in-breath. So you might be able to see these things clearly, and if you are able to see these things, at that time we can understand that you are fully, 100%, wholeheartedly experiencing breath, nothing else. You have to forget about the entire world in order to see these subtle details. While thinking about your home, while thinking about your children, about your profession, about this and that, you can't do this. So you have to have a completely dedicated, completely committed, 100% observing mind in order to see these subtle details. So if you are able to do this, then the breath becomes very beautiful rather than boring. So now we are coming to a very beautiful side where at the beginning breath becomes very boring and useless, and why are we looking at breath, and what's the hell of looking at this air? So all the complaints are there. But now even mind goes out, by itself it is coming back. But now it has understood the beauty of it. It understood the value of it, and it understood there's a refuge in being with breath rather than going out. Because if mind goes out, again some kind of a burning happens, some kind of a frustration happens, some kind of unsatisfaction happens. But if you are with the breath, there's a kind of a calmness, there's a kind of a refuge, there's a kind of friction-free dwelling. So the yogi understand that, and more than the yogi, the mind understand that. So mind is a kind of a phenomena which actually, depending on kind of a past habits, and now the mind being trained to dwell in this very peaceful state of breathing. Now the breathing is very gentle, very soft, and wholeheartedly one is dwelling with the breath. As a result, breathing becomes subtler and subtler, and the yogi has to refine his mindfulness, his or her mindfulness, in order to be with this subtle breath. Otherwise, the yogi might feel drowsy and ultimately can sleep. So if you are able to overcome sleepiness, if you are able to overcome that drowsiness, you can start being with this subtle breath, and ultimately you come to a very peaceful state where it's very much like body is not breathing. So sometimes yogis are complaining, so I am not breathing now. So what would happen to the body if not enough oxygen is taken? So you don't need to worry, because body knows how much oxygen is needed. You don't need to worry about it, because you know actually the more and more defilements in the mind, more and more oxygen you need. Now less and less defilements are in the mind, and you are very comfortable. Only for the maintenance of the body you need a very slight amount of oxygen. So you are, as we discussed in the morning, in the afternoon, you are saving oxygen for the other people. Suppose you are in a, actually this has happened. There is one recent incident happened in Thailand. One of the group of, I think football players or someone, so they have been traveling to a far distance, and they've been trapped because of the tide. And what they did was, actually there's the coach was one of the past monks, ex-monk, and he advised these young children to practice meditation. And they all survived. That's the beauty. That's the beauty, and you can understand how much oxygen they have saved. So if they start struggling, and if they start very much, agitated, and if they start quarreling each other, then they might even die, everyone. But now they understood the situation, and they were in a very peaceful state, and actually consume less oxygen or whatever the air, the limited air available, and they all survived. So those are actually the side benefits. Anyway, now we can understand, now Buddha is asking us to train ourselves without making forceful breathing, without making any kind of bodily adjustments, without thinking that I might die because of less oxygen. So without making any of these unnecessary troubles, let the mind calm down, let the body calm down, let the breathing calm down. If you are able to reach this state, Buddha says, Passambhayang kaya sankharang asasissamiti sikkati. That means tranquilizing the breathing. Now you are experiencing inhale. Tranquilizing this breathing process, you are experiencing exhale. Now the breathing becomes very soft, very gentle, and you can't now distinguish whether it is long or short, or even whether it is in-breath or out-breath. Something is there, you don't know what it is. You can't find detail, but some kind of a sensation is there. That's all you have. You can't distinguish in-breath or out-breath. Some sensation is there just to indicate that you are alive and very happy, very quiet, very tranquil, and you can just be there. It's a very blissful state in a way. So if you are able to dwell there for a fair amount of time, now there's a little kind of a happiness start to pop up. Small pleasant feeling starts to popping up, and it can grow, and it can lead to the fifth stage. The fifth stage, Buddha is explaining, Piti patisangvedi assa sissamiti sikkati, Piti patisangvedi passa sissamiti sikkati. Now we are coming to another stage where Buddha is asking to dwell there properly, comfortably, feeling at ease with the breath. As a result, now little happiness, happy feelings are arising, and you are simply allowing it to happen. As a result, now kind of a feeling, happy feeling, pleasurable feeling, blissful feelings are coming. So these blissful feelings, these happy feelings, these pleasurable feelings are part of Vedananupassana. So typically we think Vedananupassana is looking at painful feelings. It is not. So now Buddha is showing us another happy path where you can do Vedananupassana with happy feelings. You know, the feeling has three attributes. either painful feelings, either pleasurable feelings, or the neutral feelings. Dukkha Vedana, Sukha Vedana, and the Adukkama Sukha Vedana. Typically, most of us would be able to understand painful feelings because we don't like it. So we can immediately jump out of it and we can look at painful feeling as painful feeling. But unfortunately, when happy feeling arises, we dwell with it, we indulge with it, and we grasp it. We don't like to get away from it. We don't like to get out of it and watch it as a feeling. So this is a subtle point Buddha is pointing out here. Now as you continuing with Anapanasati, once you reach this Passambhayang Kaya Sankharang state, the last state of the Kayanupassana section, where you are feeling some kind of tranquility. Now where there's a kind of an ongoing concentrated state, and if you comfortably stay there, then this comfort, this contentment will lead to make you further happy. So that happiness might grow to a rapture. So this experience is entirely onto the pleasurable side of the feeling. The tone is extremely happy, entirely happy, not into pain. So if we are able to understand that this is a part of feeling, it is not my feeling, it is not I want to be with more and more with this feeling. How can I have it in the next session? How can I stay there in the long time with this session? So those are all our expectations, which spoils the process. But rather, if we can get out of this feeling and observe this as a feeling, this is a pleasurable feeling, this is a happy feeling, this is a blissful feeling. So then we are in the Vedanaupassana section. So this happy feeling can arise in different way. So the traditional books like Visuddhimagga explain 5 ways. There are 5 categories of piti. There's a Sinhala term called Paswanak piti. So that has come from this, where you have 5 types of piti, 5 types of rapture. Just for information, we'll discuss these things. So first type is explained as Kuddika piti, where it's a minor rapture. So, but even though it explains as minor rapture, it is fairly powerful. It even can raises your hairs. Kind of goosebumps can pop up. So it can even raises the hairs of the body. So if I do, I may not have hairs on the head, so nothing will happen. But if you do, probably you might even get hairs of your head rising up. So that is called Kuddika piti. And then the second type is called Kanika piti. It's a momentary type of pleasure, momentary type of happy feeling, rapture. But it is also so powerful. You are like, say, being in a tranquil state, but all of a sudden some kind of a lightning kind of shock happens. Kind of a time to time, it may not continuing, but time to time, all of a sudden some kind of a jerk happens. So that is called Kanika piti. Then the third category is called Okkantika piti. It can be translated as showering kind of rapture. It's a very beautiful one, where suppose you are being in the seashore and the waves are coming. As the wave coming, then you being showered by the wave. Again the wave going. Another wave comes. Again you are being showered by the wave. Another wave come. Again you being showered by the wave. It's a very beautiful experience. Sometimes you might have felt it. So now you feel the whole body being like showered. Just a wave-like thing happen, and you are being subject to that kind of a wave, and it lasts for a while and then it disappears. And after a while again it is coming. Another wave is coming, again it disappears. After a while another wave is coming, again it is disappeared. So this category is called Okkantika piti, showering kind of rapture. And there are the other fourth category is called Ubbega piti, also called uplifting type of rapture. There you feel very light in the body and you feel like you are now floating. The body like floating and you feel very light, and you might feel even that you are staying in the sky. So even actually, I don't know how true this is, the commentary says that one lady actually, because of this piti, has lifted through air. So such power is there in this Ubbega piti, where the lifting can happen. And the last one is the Parana piti, where the complete body being pervaded by this piti. So you can feel it, the whole body being pervaded by some kind of a massaging kind of effect. Completely you feel some kind of a happiness going through every cell of your body. So this is called the Parana piti. So these are different kinds of piti, rapture one can experience. And what we need to remember is all these are types of feeling. So while you are experiencing these things, unfortunately we forget to look at them as feeling. We being fully trapped in them. So we are enjoying, we are encouraging them, we are wishing them to have more and more. And we don't like to look at them as feelings. That's the unfortunate thing happen. But what Buddha is asking us to see is that when these things are happening, it is let them happen, nothing to worry. You can welcome them, nothing to worry. But you may go out of them and look at them as another process, as another ongoing thing which is not yours. Something the body is going on, and now you are looking at it as a process, as a feeling, as a vedana. Piti patisangvedi assa sissamiti sikkati, piti patisangvedi passa sissamiti sikkati. Then Buddha is taking us to the second stage of this section. It's called Sukha patisangvedi assa sissamiti sikkati, Sukha patisangvedi passa sissamiti sikkati. It's very much similar to the previous section, but you feel more contentment, more contented. So it is little mature than the previous one. Previous one is little disturbing, but this one, the second, is more kind of a pleasant feeling, pleasant abiding. And you feel more contented. After being in this process, you feel extremely contented. Contentment is there, but getting nothing from outside. So that is the beauty of meditation. So typically you need many things coming from outside for you to be contented. You feel enough. But now here, having nothing from outside, you feel I am utterly contented. So I am utterly happy. I am feeling quiet, feeling happy, feeling pleasurable, feeling blissful. And you are 100% satisfied. So there is something we can encourage if you are able to experience, because these are not conducive to any kind of defilements. If you are attached to it, you can do it again and again, but still it is not leading to any sort of defilements in yourself. Now typically, say for example, if you are enjoying a movie, enjoying a cricket match, or whatever the way you are doing some kind of enjoyment, any kind of body related or words related, whatever the way the enjoyment, it can lead to some sort of defiled mind. Latent tendencies are being further strengthened when you are experiencing some kind of a pleasurable sensation. But here, this pleasure is coming without the sense involvement. Your eyes are closed, you are in a quiet place, no sounds, and you are not experiencing any kind of smell, and your mouth is closed, you are not tasting anything, and you are simply being with yourself. And the five senses are very much not in contact with any of their respective external object. And this pleasure, this happiness, this joy is extremely with your mental development. Therefore, Buddha is telling us not to be afraid of it. So you can enjoy it. But here, rather than enjoyment, if we are to develop wisdom through this process, you need to come out of it and have to see it as this is a pleasurable feeling, this is a blissful feeling, this is a rapturous feeling. So if we are able to see that, then we are in the Vedananupasana section. And just to connect you with another sutta, there is another sutta called Deepa Sutta, which is also in Anapanasati Sangyukta, in Sangyukta Nikaya. There Buddha is explaining these 16 steps again, and there he beautifully says, Sukhancha Vedanang Vedeti Sa Anicchati Pajanati. Now you can understand, now when you go out of this experience and simply watching how wave-like pleasure coming and then it is going, you can see it is impermanent. It was not there. Now you are experiencing some kind of wave-like feeling. That okkantika piti, for example. To explain you, if I take that example, that suppose you are experiencing some kind of a okkantika piti, where wave-like pleasure arising. So you are now experiencing it. Suppose you are able to go out of that experience and watch it. Then you can understand, because of this practice, now this pleasurable feeling is arising and the kind of changing is going on. The wave is a kind of a change. Now that change is going on, and then after that it is passing away. Another wave is coming, again the body is going through that wave, again it is passing away. Another wave is coming, again going through the body, again passing away. So you can see that you can even understand how impermanent they are. So all these pleasurable feelings, therefore Buddha is asking us to see as impermanent. Sukhancha Vedanang Vedeti Anajjositati Pajanati. So you are not being held on to these pleasures, rather you are sort of looking at them as someone else's feelings, as external feelings, not yours. Anajjositati, you are not being into it, you are not being trapped in it. Rather you are able to look at it externally, as someone else's feelings. Anabhinanditati pajanati, where you are not delighted in it, or you are not being trapped in it. Rather you see them as impermanent. They are coming and going. They are arising and passing away. Then you are properly in this Vedananupasana. Again Buddha is telling, Sukhancha Vedanang Vedeti Visangyuktotang Vedeti. So you are going through some happy feelings, but quite detached. You are not attached to them. Rather you are detached from these happy feelings and you are going through it. You watch them, how they are coming and going. Fairly detach the process and you are looking at it. And then Buddha explains the third stage. He's telling Chitta Sankhara Patisangvedi Assa Sissamiti Sikkhati, Chitta Sankhara Patisangvedi Passa Sissamiti Sikkhati. So Chitta Sankhara, if you can remember, we discussed during our discussion. So Chitta Sankhara is Vedana and Sanya. Vedana is the feeling, Sanya is the perception. So now you are observing or going through these feelings, and so you can feel different pleasant feelings in this case. And on the other hand, there could be different perceptions also can happen. It is not every time one may get it, but sometimes as the experience refined, as your mind become very refined, as the object become very refined, there's a possibility that you might see various illusions. You might see various images. So that is actually a kind of a trap. Because as your consciousness become very refined, so it can't establish well. Therefore, it is using some kind of a available data, some kind of a latent data which you have. Therefore, suppose you are a very faithful type of yogi, you have a lot of faith with Buddha, so you are going to respect various places, Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Jayasri Mahabodhiya, everywhere, and you might even respect various celestial beings, Kataragama and all these places. So while in this place, probably you might even see certain gods. maybe certain Buddha images, maybe certain pagodas. So likewise, depending your character, certain images can appear. But now if you raise your hand and pay respect, then everything finish. So you need to understand it's a mind created object. It's just a perception. It's just an image. It's a mental image. Because consciousness is in a very refined state, so it can't well establish there. Therefore, it's a very tricky. Now it is taking the available data, inbuilt or rather already deposited data, and it is taking you in another ride, trying to take you in another ride. So if you are very careful, you can understand this. It is not that you are not meditating in front of the Dalada Maligava, rather you are in Kalalgoda. So you can then simply discard this image and come back to your meditation, come back to your breathing. And on the other hand, you might even hear certain sounds, like maybe kind of a paritta chanting, or someone is murmuring to your ear, or very, very gentle, jingling, or what, bell sounds, little bell sounds, something like that, or very, very soft speaking. So this kind of, even the sound level, certain perceptions can happen. So that's why these areas are fairly tempting, and again fairly deceiving. Therefore, sometimes you start looking at them, they getting aggravated, they become intensified, and then you start to proliferate on it. Then you are going to another world, and you are now experiencing a very beautiful journey. So you are looking at clouds, and many gods are there paying respect to you, and very flowers are coming towards you. You are now going through everything. So some yogis actually explain these things, so I can remember, so I am just sharing with you. So when they are going in these images, so your mind creates various stories. So they think now it's a kind of a real thing, so they enjoy, and more and more they enjoy, more and more pumping of data coming. So as you please, the mind creates the story. So mind is extremely tricky. That's why Buddha is telling the consciousness is like a magician. So it is making a beautiful magic. So because it understood, this poor fellow is enjoying this. Now it is giving such data. Now you are enjoying, going through such a journey. But if you remember that your eyes are closed, you look at this, everything but eyes are closed. So all are mental images. So if you understand that very point, you need to realize everything is mind-made. Everything is coming from your deposited data. Everything is an illusion. Therefore, Buddha says these perceptions are like a mirage. It appears like water, but it is a mirage. Marichikupama sanya. Perception is like a mirage. So if you can very carefully remember this advice, when you see, while you are closing your eyes, if you see many images, typical sanya, typical perception, typical, say, people or human perceptions of human images or God images or devil images or whatever image, everything is a perception. So if now Buddha is telling us chitta sankhara patisangvedi asasisamiti sikkati. Now you are going through Anapanasati, but there is a possibility that you are experiencing different perceptions, different images, and you are not being trapped in it, not being caught up in it. And if so, what happens is, the last stage, Buddha is telling us passambhayang chitta sankharang asasisamiti sikkati. Now you are a very intelligent yogi, so you are not being trapped in them, you are not being caught up in them. So whatever the perception came, they simply disappearing. Different images are coming, they simply disappear. Different feelings are coming, maybe happy feelings, but they too disappear because you are not trapped in it. You understand they are impermanent. Sa anicchati pajanati. So you understand different, say, wave-like pleasure is there, but you understand it is impermanent. They are coming and going. They are rising and passing away. They are not mine. If so, then all these perceptions, all these feelings start to calm down, start to fade away. So that is the last stage Buddha is telling in the Vedananupassana section in Anapanasati Sutta. So if one is capable of experience these things, Buddha says all these experiences are part of Vedana, part of feeling. And as a result, so all the perceptions and all the feelings start to calm down. So you feel sort of light, you feel sort of floating like, you can't feel much of the body, and you feel only that mind exists. So if I just refer Buddha's terms, Vedanasu Vedananya tarahang bhikkhave evang vadami yadidang assasa passasang sadhukam manasikarang. Now one is experiencing in-breath and out-breath, the breathing process, very gentle way, very soft way. And then as a result, one is experiencing these different feelings. And those feelings, those pleasurable feelings are part of Vedana, part of feeling. Therefore, they are in the category of Vedananupassana. Vedanasu Vedananupassi tasming samaye bhikkhu viharati. So that bhikkhu or whoever the yogi, at that time, when they are looking at feeling as feeling, pleasurable feeling as pleasurable feeling, at that time, Vedanasu Vedananupassi tasming samaye bhikkhu viharati. At that time, he is doing Vedananupassana. Atapi sampajano satima vinaya loke abhijja domanassam. So he is with kind of an ardent way, in a very courageous way. Sampajano clearly seeing all these processes coming and going, how they are changing, in a very subtle way. A certain wave is coming, it is giving different patterns. Every detail you are seeing, sampajano, very clearly. Seeing all these details, sampajano, satima, very mindful. Vinaya loke abhijja domanasang, eliminating all the kinds of unnecessarily making it as a topic for greed, as a topic for any kind of covetousness. So these are the things that Buddha is talking about Vedananupassana with respect to Anapanasati. Actually, if one is in Vedananupassana, one can get another understanding related to the dependent arising. So that is another beautiful area which leads to development of the wisdom, because Vedana can't arise by itself. There are always causes for the arising of Vedana, arising of feeling. So if you are careful how these feelings are arising, if you are able to see various, maybe painful feeling, maybe happy feeling, if you are able to look at it very carefully, you might understand there is some kind of a contact involved in it. Some kind of a contact happening, maybe with a very slight contact might happen, and as a result, these different feelings are arising. Passa paccaya vedana. Because of contact, the feeling is arising. So that's another area to investigate. Because it is true that these things are happyful, pleasurable and all these things, but if we are simply blindly look at it, so we are not much contributing to the wisdom side. But you understand there are certain areas that I can carefully investigate, through which I can develop further wisdom. So you are looking at them, that they are coming and going, impermanent and transient nature. At the same time, you can see before it arises, what is there? And at the very instant, at the very moment of arising, what are the causing factors? What are the proximate causes? If such situation, one would be able to understand there's a little contact happening, and as a result, these different kinds of pleasures, different kinds of feelings are arising. And again, when you are experiencing different these kind of pleasurable feelings, they are not as operating as a one unit, but rather it is scattered. It is going through a whole body, or it is experienced throughout the body. So it is not just a single one feeling, rather it is a very collection of feelings. You are simply looking at it. Certain areas of the body are being felt. Another areas of the body are being felt. Another areas of the body are being felt. And you are closely observing them. And you might understand they are not just a single feeling, but a little feelings are there distributed throughout the body. As a result, you feel enjoyed. As a result, you feel happy. As a result, you feel thrilled. As a result, you feel blissed. But they are as a collection of feelings are available. Probably if you are able to watch them, then you might even understand these little feelings are arising and passing away. These little feelings are arising and passing away. So this is another area that one can investigate, which is available through Vedananupassana, because Vedananupassana is one of the easy areas to understand dependent arising, Paticca Samuppada. The principle of this causality. You know, Buddha's teaching is based on the cause and effect relationship. So if you are able to understand, it is not that someone external is doing it or someone else is doing it. Rather, there are certain real causes causing this process, making this process. So what are those causes? So we can try to investigate them. So that's a very interesting area, and again a very important area, because unless we see these causes, we can't really touch the fair sort of deep Dhamma, because it is necessary to understand there is no I here, there is no person here, rather body being sustained due to certain causes and mind operates due to certain causes. So if we are able to understand this more and more wisdom develops. So more and more wisdom develops, more and more we understand this transient nature of the body, transient nature of the mind, more and more letting go happens. So Vedananupassana therefore is a very important area. One can investigate this causality, this cause and effect relationship. So I think with that I like to conclude today's Dhamma sermon, because in this Anapanasati Sutta, Buddha is taking us section by section, explaining how one can develop Anapanasati touching the Kayanupassana. How one can develop Anapanasati touching or fulfilling Vedananupassana. So yesterday we discussed about the Kayanupassana, and today we discuss on Vedananupassana. So with that I'll conclude today's Dhamma sermon. Thank you very much for listening. So some of you are sleeping because it's so comfortable in a blissful state. So there's a little Punyanumodana. Today the breakfast dana was offered in the name of the late Father Mr. N.A. Tilakaratna, whose third death anniversary was on 17th January 2019. And wish to pass the merits to him. May he free from samsara very soon. Also wish to pass the merits to the late relative Mr. J.A. Premachandra and all the other passed away relatives. So we'll wish that Mr. N.A. Tilakaratna and again Mr. J.A. Premachandra may receive these merits and may they attain path fruition, Nibbana. So today also we have accumulated a lot of merits. We have listened to a Dhamma sermon, we have participated to a Dhamma discussion, and you are protecting your sila. This way we accumulated merits, and we'll share these merits with all the past devil relatives. We'll share these merits with all the celestial beings and all the beings who are in need of merits. Let these merits help us also to understand Buddha's teaching. While keeping these good wishes in our mind, let's recite the traditional verses. Ittavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha ca bummattha deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu sasanang. Akasattha ca bummattha deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu desanang. Akasattha ca bummattha deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu mamparang. Idang vo ñātīnaṃ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idang vo ñātīnaṃ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idang vo ñātīnaṃ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.